The best part about leaving Islam is that I don't simply not pray anymore or not fast anymore. I am breaking free from a toxic, abusive, and patriarchal environment. An environment that can eat you out slowly, at home, at school, at work, even in the streets, until your dignity and your self-worth don't exist anymore, especially if you're a female like myself. No one can force me to wear something, or do something, or feel something, or be something that I am not. I control my looks, my deeds, and my relationships.
الله العظيم أستغفر الله أستغفر الله أستغفر الله أستغفر الله أستغفر الله أستغفر الله
Awesome without Allah because I believe in gender equality. Awesome without Allah because I believe in free speech and the right to blaspheme. Awesome without Allah because I love people regardless of their race, religion, and sexual orientation. Awesome without Allah because I will continue to fight for the rights of ex-Muslims who still struggle to come out. Awesome without Allah because I stand in solidarity with women who fight for their freedom in Iran, in Saudi Arabia, and many other Muslim majority countries. Awesome without Allah because I don't think He exists.
The best part about leaving Islam is that I can finally truly understand and get the idea of equality for all, especially as a woman. I no longer buy into the propaganda that women are somehow inferior to men and that they have to be subservient to men. I don't believe in religious superstition like jinns and flying horses. Concept of humans being good and doing the right thing because they fear going to hell or for the greed of heaven or getting 72 virgins. I think it's just completely absurd and silly. Especially ideas such as the woman's testimony being worth half of that of a man and that they somehow possess less intellect than men. I think it's just completely absurd, and I just don't buy into that anymore. For us ex-Muslims in the West, I think it is our moral duty to come out as ex-Muslims because there are many ex-Muslims in the closet that live in countries where leaving Islam is punishable by that.
One of the best parts about leaving Islam, for me, was that I could finally be free of having to defend the inequality of men and women, something that's just baked right into the Quran. And no, pointing to verses in the Quran that attempt to throw women a bone by making them the spiritual equals of men in the sight of Allah, after everyone's dead and gone, doesn't fix anything. It's easy to make grand promises for a make-believe fairy tale next life, while women are already suffering the indignity of Islam's inequality in the societies that take Islam's pronouncements seriously. It never made sense to me as a believer that we'd want to create a society where women received half the inheritance of a man, or that men could possess women and girls as slaves who were legal for them to have sex with.
Let me talk to him. Let me talk to him. Let it rain. Let me talk to him. Come on.
As Islamic State spread through Iraq, many defenceless locals were taken hostage. We spoke to one woman who was taken captive by the religious extremists.
They took the man out and we heard the sound of gunfire. I was given to a Saudi Arabian. My father sent 10 million dinars to the Saudi Arabian man. He took the money and sold me to someone else. He took the money and sold me to someone else.
You can't have true consent in such a scenario. Masters and slaves.
The women are kept as sex slaves and they're traded between extremist fighters. Girls as young as 8 are known to have been among those captured.
You can't have true consent in such a scenario. Masters and slaves. You can't have true consent in such a scenario. Masters and slaves.
Never seen nothing that'll make me go this crazy. I'm like spinning my dough. Had $1 million vibe in the body to go. Them birthday cakes, they stole the show. So sexual.
أصل الحرب من النساء هم مثلهم، بمعنى إن عشان أجلهم.
You can't have true consent in such a scenario. Masters and slaves.
بيصبحوا ملكا للقائد أو للجيش أو للمسلم.
Crook! Wallah, you're a crook. You are a crook. You are a crook.
يستمتع بيهم كما يستمتع بزوجته.
Problems like these are even more obvious when one leaves the religion and stops making excuses for this immorality masquerading as religious virtue. Being able to follow your conscience and to put equality above the bad ideas that many of us have been conditioned to believe as converts or born Muslims, well, that's true freedom. That's being awesome without Allah.
The best part at being able to leave my religion is being able to build that bridge between my culture and my family that doesn't include religion, so I can be my most authentic self with all the flaws and uncertainties that I contain, that when the people I love see the positive energy that I put into them, they know that I do it without the promise of heaven or the fear of hell.
Hello, I am Lubna Mirza. I am practicing endocrinologist. For me personally, as a physician, shedding the beliefs in supernatural has been incredibly liberating. I like the objectivity, open-mindedness, clarity of thoughts, for instance. Just knowing that there are no set answers for anything. You have to analyze the data and come to a conclusion. And there is never the same answer for two different individuals. And as a woman, just the feeling of being a whole person is the most wonderful part of living Islam. If you ask me honestly, the best part is I don't have to listen to these ugly men who are really less educated than myself telling me who to be or how to live my life.
Guys, do you know the sunnah of drinking water? You're supposed to take 3 sips and you're supposed to take a breath in between 3 sips and you're supposed to move the cup away. So let me give you a demonstration. Small one, okay, move the cup away, breathe. Breathe again, move the cup away. You're not supposed to breathe in the cup. And the third time, why? Because if you drink like a camel, gulp it all down, it goes straight through your system. But if you drink it like this, it opens down there and it goes through into your body. It doesn't get flushed out. That's the sunnah. You do this, you avoid yourself a lot of headaches and you actually get water into your system. That's the sunnah, my brother.
I don't have to listen to these ugly men who are really less educated than myself telling me who to be or how to live my life. Inside of Islam, as a woman, you are never your own person. You belong to the men in your family at every stage of your life.
I don't have to make excuses for why this is in the Quran or that is in the Quran for all the misogyny, terrorism, and violence.
The crazy, stupid stuff that I was kind of like, like this is a bit awkward, like why did that happen? Why did the Prophet do that? That kind of stuff, they like really brushed over it nicely.
I also can't be guilted about what I'm wearing, how I'm acting, what I'm doing, you know. As long as I'm not hurting anyone, I don't feel guilty for, you know, just living my life. For me, coming out as an ex-Muslim has really alienated me from my extended family. They don't really speak to me, and the ones that do are, you know, distant. Some non-Muslims that are, you know, here in the West also accuse me of bigotry or some sort of, you know, race traitor kind of mentality. But in the end, for me, that's worth it, because as much as it is unpleasant, if I publicly remained a Muslim, I would feel like I'm advocating for misogyny and harmful ideas. I would prefer that I educate people about what Islam truly is as an ideology and why people like me cannot support it, even though we grew up with it.